Even if DCU and all that, if it fails again, hey, still got Batman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
always.
Still got Batman.
Always.
There's probably why that even this last year, it's basically, well, not last year, but the last couple of years, like that and Joker are really the only two movies that make a crap ton of money. All the other ones have pretty much flopped.
Yeah.
Shazam, Fury of the Gods being a perfect example.
Such a shame.
And then weekly James Gunn tweets. I could...
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You boys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tardy to the Party, the weekly podcast centered around news and reviews of the holy trinity of pop culture, Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. I'm your boy, J-Sib, and to my left, as always,
I'm KP.
and to my right, as always,
The Bull.
oh, boys.
Oh God, what do you got now?
We had a pretty juicy week last week with Star Wars Celebration, right? You gave us the gabagoo.
Yeah.
Gabacool.
The
Gabacool. It's real gabacool.
Yeah. So I don't know if we caught it. So like the next one's in Osaka or Tokyo, right? Tokyo, Japan.
Tokyo, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, and like today they came out in the news and like they okayed like some big ass casino resort they're gonna build in the Osaka district or some shit, whatever it is. I don't really know. I'd have to actually look at a map. Never been there. But yes, that was my case. Because I was like, well, if you build that fast enough, that lines up with something else that's supposed to be over there in 2 years, so...
I like casinos.
Right.
And I like Star Wars.
I was just like, all I thought was like, oh, cool, I'm going to need like $10,000 to do this.
But you could get there and win all of your money back.
Or lose the rest of it.
Free trip!
No, that's the wrong way to think.
That's the wrong way to think, everybody. That's exactly what you don't do.
That's why I saved my money.
That's exactly...
You go into a casino with a set dollar amount. Hey,
right.
Bang. Whether it's 5, 10, 20. Me, typically, I like to put $40. Just start off if I go to the casino.
Okay.
I know it might be small to some, big to others, but I start with $40.
Bro,
go in there. If I lose it, I lose it, and I'm done.
Hey, $1 spent is $1 lost in gambling to this guy. If I don't have bad luck, I have nothing at all. So
Play your card games right, you'll make money.
I won't lie, I'm a sucker for roulette. I love playing blackjack and Texas Hold'em, but
great because it's just soft games. So
yeah,
you don't even have to count cards.
I love the
really.
roulette.
You just have to kind of be not stupid.
See, that's that dangerous part of gambling, though, because it just gives me that much more of a serotonin boost when you win that roulette. Go, yeah, screw you guys.
It's hot damn.
Red 7.
But hey, if you ever gamble responsibly, because it's a dangerous game. That's why I say set them out. You lose it, be done. Don't keep going and say you gotta double down. Nah.
Just gamble on sports like the rest of us.
That's how I put my down payment on my house.
You know,
not financial advice. All right, but let's get into DC this week.
Us here at T3P.
I feel obligated as the DC guy because I also grew up very closely associated with WB and all of their stuff. I feel like I also have to talk about HBO and HBO Max and their big announcement this week because HBO Max is no more. If you want to mark this down as one of the worst marketing decisions of all time, I wouldn't disagree because it seems pretty stupid to me that if you're going to take HBO Max and convert it and you're going to drop one of them, we're going to drop the HBO. We're going to drop the gold standard and just go with Max.
Less HBO, more Max.
And their stupid tagline, which is I think is something close to the place to watch HBO. I'm like,
yeah, it was bad.
I hate you.
I was like, man,
just take a good thing and just shit on it.
I can't stress enough how much I hate
that marketing team just had like the easiest job apparently.
You know,
there's no way that took a lot of thought.
No,
just. They're clearly selling in like 2 years when they're able to. It's like, yeah, Paramount, Comcast, yeah, we're selling in a couple of years. We bought this company to sell it.
All you got to change is the tagline. That's it.
True. We bought it to sell it.
Yeah. I don't know if you'd want Paramount buying it, fine, but I don't think you want.
I'm not saying I
think
would prefer Universal to Paramount to buy it, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't want Comcast. But
Yeah, you don't.
I was kind of happy with Discovery buying it because Discovery was a really, really profitable company.
Yeah.
Like Zaslav did magic with that company, so that's why I was like, oh, Papa Zaslav coming in with the axe. He's gonna cut some shit, cut that money, make some money back. This is a terrible move. I do not like this at all.
That makes sense.
As long as my subscription is just grandfathered in, whatever.
And
This is the change is going to be soon, right?
Yeah.
Like that's,
sorry. Yeah, it goes in effect May 23rd.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, I got like 7 months of HBO Max left. That better roll over.
Which actually, if I remember right, I think that's actually the same day Shazam: Fury of the Gods goes on Max too.
Of course it is.
But and also confirmed, I guess, like the Flash comes out this summer, but they did confirm that it will drop on Max this fall.
Yeah.
And during this. And then also,
but that one's going to get the standard treatment of it gets to be in theaters, then we wait 2 or 3 months, and then it's on streaming. Yeah. Unlike...
Seems like they're going to wait the 90 days.
Yeah. It was given its 90 days. Yeah. 90 days notice.
The unspoken agreement.
Yeah.
So
Shazam was like, "No, effective immediately. You will be moved to streaming because your movie's trash."
Dude, that
we need to make more money now.
Actually, what the hell was that movie? I don't even think that movie's going to make $150 million, which is...
You see the Mario movie? 500 million opening?
Apparently it's really, really good.
Dude, I'm excited.
Critics shit on it, but apparently it's really, really good. I want to see it.
Crazy. I want to see it too. It looks actually really good. So far, it's made $128.5 million worldwide.
It's Shazam?
Yeah.
No. Damn, that sucks. For that kind of a movie. Just real quick, though, I will say there's like a handful of movies that are out that are kind of away from the whole high fantasy sci-fi thing that seem like they're pretty good. So like, well, I guess really I shouldn't say Mario, but it's video game, so I'm kind of not considering it, even though it basically is it. But then you got Air. Apparently that's great.
Of course. Directed by Batfleck.
But
the Bat.
Well, he had his partner in crime.
Yeah, well, they have their own studio or production company now.
I'm just saying. Give Matt Damon. Matt
Damon.
I still need to go see D&D.
Oh, yeah.
And John Wick.
We were going to see that on vacation.
If you want to see it with me and Chad, you probably could.
When are you seeing it?
We don't know yet because we've been trying to schedule it forever, and I'm surprised we haven't seen it yet.
Well, when you do that.
It's our DM. Well, my DM. In our D&D campaigns. I promised him I'd see it with him because I think he said he'd kill me. If I saw it without him.
Fair enough.
Something like that.
He threatened my life.
I don't know if it was me or my character, but I'm not taking the chances on either.
Right. 6 minutes. We were in a campaign, so I don't know if he really meant my character or me.
All I know is I felt really uncomfortable.
All I know is now I just have crippling anxiety. My friend's going to come stab me. Crippling anxiety. I just want to say that real quick.
Yeah, no. But then also during this whole panel or whatever, I actually didn't get to sit in on it. I saw this after the fact. They also released a teaser for the Penguin series, which looks
like that nice crime drama.
It looks,
and it's dark and just twisted. It looks awesome. I love it. Give me all that.
Yeah. And again, the whole fact that the trailer said that Batman saga thing freaked people out. And I didn't really pay much attention to it, I'll be honest. I just kind of glossed over that because I was caught up in the trailer.
Yeah.
But the Batman saga thing's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I like how this is...
I just wonder if that means more spin-offs or just a shit ton of movies.
I think it'll be kind of a combination of movies and shows. Yeah. I think they've kind of already... Matt Reeves has kind of came out and... It seems like he's definitely... We'll have the DCU, and then we're all going to have this, whole other, Batman universe.
Right.
It's which I'm 100% down for.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
Screw it. We have it in comics. We got the Justice League.
Dude, it's
too much
Batman.
material.
I mean, screw it. We got Batman and the Detective Comics. We got two Batman.
I was going to say...
Too much material to leave behind.
Well, and it's Batman. Everyone loves Batman.
Yeah. It's just too much to leave
Even
on the table.
Even if DCU and all that, if it fails again, hey, still got Batman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
always.
Still got Batman.
Always.
There's probably why that even this last year it's basically... Well, well, not last year, but the last couple of years, like that and Joker are really the only two movies that make a crap ton of money. All the other ones have pretty much flopped.
Yeah.
Shazam, Fury of the Gods being a perfect example.
Such a shame.
And then weekly James Gunn tweets. I could...
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Weekly James Gunn.
I was waiting. I was like, is he? Is it? The segment's back.
James Gunn back on Twitter? Well, he never left it.
He confirmed that Peacemaker Season 2 will be coming out after Superman Legacy. So for those who thought there was in doubt that Peacemaker Season 2 wasn't coming, I wasn't one of those people. It's for sure coming, and you kind of got somewhat of a time frame.
I was going to say, like, all the shit he made in the prior universe, that stuff's all going to be fine. I'm sure his ego is like, yeah, I'm not getting rid of my stuff. Like, I didn't fuck up. You know, I feel like that'd probably be my attitude about it. Like, hey, I didn't fuck up here. Y'all fucked up here.
I didn't lose. Y'all lost.
Jimmy G meme.
Yeah.
Nah, y'all lose.
And then also this week, which got kind of broke by different, I think The Wrap like broke one of these, but then James Gunn came out and doubled down and confirmed all of them. We actually got a cast list for Creature Commandos. To start off, returning people. We have Viola Davis returning as Amanda Waller, and Steve Agee, I believe is how it's pronounced, returning as John Economos, or Diebeard, however you want to refer to him as. But as far as the rest of the list goes, we have for Rick Flag Sr., that'll be played by Frank Grillo.
Who's very happy about that role.
Yeah, he's the one who played Crossbones, right?
Yes, and he's publicly come out and said he's pissed about how Marvel handled that character and how he didn't like how he was shoved to the side after the one Captain America movie, and he was just an afterthought. So he's pumped for this because he's going to be more important.
Yeah.
Don't blame you.
Got David Harbaugh. I don't know how to say his name, actually. He has been cast as Eric Frankenstein.
That's a great casting.
So
that's going to be fun.
I'll say it seems kind of like an easy transition from Hellboy to Frankenstein. Yeah. Also got Alan Tudyk as Dr. Phosphorus. That should be a pretty good cast.
I'll say that's probably going to be a pretty good cast.
Pretty excited for that one, actually.
He's good in everything he's in.
And we got
always
Maria Bakalova playing Ilana Rostovic, which I believe Maria Bakalova, is she the one that was in the Borat movies, and also as the voice of Cosmo?
Can you pull the image up? Because I'm trying to find it on Twitter, because I know I saw it, but I can't.
Pretty sure. Yes, she voices Cosmo. And then we got Indira Varma playing the Bride of Frankenstein. Zoe Chow, Nina Mazursky, and that's the confirmed cast line so far, which is pretty much everybody, at least as far as the main squad goes. I think, Indira has been. Is she the one that was at Andor?
What's she look like?
Oh no, Kenobi. It was Kenobi. She played Tyler Durrith, and Kenobi. Oh, she pops up in The Legend of Vox Machina. Oh, she must hang out with the Critical Role people. She's cool in my book, then. It's going to be a great movie. But yeah, pretty exciting overall. Obviously, I think the big ones are Frank Grillo and David Harbaugh playing Rick Flag Sr. and Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk as
Who's playing the bride?
Oh, I also forgot one. That was... Where is it? That's Indira Varma, the one that was in Kenobi.
Okay.
Also forgot two characters technically. Sean Gunn is also doing the motion capture for G.I. Robot and Weasel again, as he did in the Suicide Squad. So of course your boy Sean Gunn's going to be in there. Yeah, what do you guys think of this cast list? What's your ups, downs? Any?
It should be pretty good. I will say for Harborough, or however you say it. Harbor. That's interesting for him as a voice actor. And Gorilla too, so that'll be kind of interesting to.
Well, you also got to remember, like they'll be voice acting for this show, but James Gunn also said that if these characters ever come to live action, these are the characters or actors that are going to be portraying those characters.
That's why I'm excited for Harbor, because that's going to be cool.
that makes sense. I forgot about that. That makes sense then, and then that's actually good casting for him.
Yeah, for the voice, the creativity he has in his voice. Because I mean, what was he?
That makes sense. The way you said that, I was like motion capture. I was like, it's a cartoon, and then.
Well, yeah, sorry,
I forgot. Well, no, you're good. Because I forgot that he said like, well, if they ever come into live action,
same.
So yeah, so Sean Gunn will do the motion capture for Weasel, and then.
Which I will say, now that we're finally here, where we've gotten actually some cast lists of like animated characters. It's really kind of cool in a way that now, I mean, you guys kind of get it with Star Wars in a way, but it's like almost locked in stone now, where if it's an official DCU animated project, it's like we can get hype for like these actors, because it's like we have that, they could die in whatever animated movie, but we still have that potential of like, we could get a live action, David Harbour as Frankenstein. I know, like I said, a lot of people are really hype about Frank Grillo playing
I feel
Rick
like
Flag
they definitely. I mean, really, it probably is because of Star Wars. They probably watched that and were like, turns out
fans do.
Katie Sackhoff can actually voice act and very effectively play the actual character in live action as well. Like, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I think it's really good for the hardcore fan base too, to build up that hype. I mean, look at how much everybody freaked out when Lars Mikkelsen was confirmed as a live-action Thrawn. Like, everybody freaked out.
That was
a great moment.
Like,
great moment.
That's what it's all about right there. That's that gabagool right there.
Well, it's like who we just are accustomed to now is Thrawn, so yeah. Like, that was huge.
It just makes sense. So now that we're actually kind of here where we're getting some, projects announced with, like, the voice actors and stuff, it actually is like, because we're getting some pretty big names like attached to stuff, so that's actually like really cool. And now I'm like further excited for any other future animated projects to see what comes out of it, because it seems like they're actually going to put some real talent behind it. I know some people might take that as an insult because, well, they're not voice actors, which is true. Voice actors are usually tend to be better, but that's not always the case.
But with a purpose behind it,
Yeah,
that's good.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure that recently voice actors are commanding a lot in terms of salary anymore. So at this point, these studios, I think, are getting to the point where it's like, well, let's find actors that just are okay with being paid either for doing both.
Yeah,
is what I would imagine.
Yeah, it's make it more worth it, make it more worth your while.
Yeah, I could be very wrong on that, but I know that like there's one specific thing that I just won't dive into, but it essentially was like the voice actress. She wanted a shit ton of money, and it's like, when you consider like the amount of time to record it, it's like not long. It's like, damn, it's kind of like, you're worth this much per hour then, and I don't know, I'm just thinking that these studios are kind of like, well, let's just get the actual actors in case we want to adapt it anyway.
Well, right, and especially, like we just said, the more that other avenues like Star Wars are doing all that, like with Lars and Katie Sackhoff and all this, and how well it's received.
I hate to say it, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's the guy. But just real quick first, since we're talking about him, I do like the voice actor for Anakin more than Hayden Christensen.
Really?
It's just, yes.
Blasphemy!
Yes. 100% yes.
Yeah.
Not Obi-Wan, no. Ewan forever and always and whatever, but for Anakin, I'd rather have the voice actor.
Well, hey, forever and for always, he got like years and years older on the cartoon, and then they flash back to a movie, and he's the same age as he was before, so, I mean, had a scar disappear, It's regenerating.
Right.
But yeah, that pretty much rounds up DC this week. Just those few little juicy tidbits. that say other stuff is stupid rumors. Like I can't even remember them because I'm like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Other Superman, Lex Luthor rumored to appear. It's like, no, you don't know shit.
until that's a little more fact than fiction, then we'll take it.
Say that. I'm pretty sure James Gunn shot down some actor playing Superman. Oh no, he shot down Aaron Paul playing Booster Gold in the TV series, and he was like, "Love Aaron Paul, both love him personally and professionally, but all of this is like."
No.
Pretty much vehemently untrue.
No.
So that's it. That rounds up DC and ends the weekly James Gunn tweet segment. Good job, James. Way to keep us DC fans in the news and what how. Now it's time for Marvel.
I ain't got shit.
Bang.
Kind of actually true. The one thing that...
one juicy bit.
Well, yes, there is one thing that's, good, but for the most part, the only one thing I kind of wanted to talk about other than what dropped, apparently Infinity War had a 45-minute opening of when Thanos was actually attacking... oh God. What is the name of the planet? Jesus, where the Nova Corps is.
Oh, never read that.
But apparently they had that like planned to like show like how like exactly how he got the Power Stone, but they just decided to cut it because I'm assuming just the budget, because it was going to be like a big CGI. Like that's basically all it was going to be. It was just a big 45-minute intro of CGI.
So what I'm hearing is a potential they might pull Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King extended 4+ hour cut and maybe give us that of Infinity.
Why the hell not?
Please.
And then you can watch that from beginning all the way to the end of Endgame and just have like a 6.5 hour day of just awesome.
Hell yeah.
I would love that.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's been floating around a lot over the internets, the Twitterverse. And then Xandar. Thank you. God, thank you, Direct. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. But got a trailer. Got a trailer for the Marvels. They're all back. They're all in the same movie. Did you guys watch it?
No. I have watched this.
I knew that was going to be a no.
I've watched this several times. Also watched down several breakdown videos
of the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't really watch it. I watched it like twice. I didn't watch breakdowns.
One was like a breakdown Easter egg, and the others were just kind of like reactions to it.
Oh yeah, I love how people like. Well, yeah.
Apparently, this is one of the. I don't even think this is true. One of the most like disliked Marvel movie trailers on YouTube.
I was gonna wait to get there, but yeah, let's just jump.
Let's just start off with y'all a bunch of incels. Because this movie looked, and this is coming from someone who did not like
the first one.
Oh, I was like,
just wasn't for you.
I just thought it was very blah.
To me, the first one is not a bad movie, but
it's not a bad movie. But I don't think it's a good movie either.
No, I wouldn't say it's a.
But I wouldn't.
I'd say for me, it's a popcorn movie. I go back and watch it all the time, but I also just it's one of my favorite characters, so that's why I watch it.
This is actually coming from somebody who didn't care for the first Miss Marvel movie, and also couldn't get into
the series of
Miss Marvel series. Or sorry, didn't like the Captain Marvel movie. Couldn't get into the Miss Marvel series.
Hey, is it confusing because at one point Captain Marvel actually was just named Ms. Marvel, like back in the 60s and 70s, and then they just decided, yeah, let's change the name, but then fans didn't like that.
Was that after they killed the real Captain Marvel?
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
whenever.
I think the reason they reintroduced Captain Marvel.
Well, that's again,
but Brie Larson.
Her version. That's the thing is her version. That version's what after. Like originally, yes, it was Marvel, and then you had Ms. Marvel. Carol Danvers was Ms. Marvel and a black unitard. And then they killed off Marvel when they rebooted for the umpteenth million time, because that's what Marvel does it constantly. Even
so
though
does DC. They both do it.
They say they don't. They say they don't, but they do.
They both do it though.
Yeah,
they're both really guilty.
Yeah, they're horribly guilty. So that's how the whole Captain Marvel thing came around.
I think originally when they killed, because Captain Marvel was a guy originally, and then after they killed him in the comics, I think they actually created the female Captain Marvel just to so they could legally keep the name. That's literally just so they could keep the name.
Yeah, it was so they could legally keep the name, yeah. Because DC did not want them using the name, because Shazam's actually Captain Marvel.
That's why, like, when the movies come out, I joke about it's the Marvel family.
That's why in Fury of the Gods, it's funny when he's like, Captain Marvel. It's like, you know.
I was like, oh. I was Leonardo. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. So, but, all right, yeah, real quick. Yeah, the tweet then came out. I saw people saying about how YouTube shows the Marvels trailer is the most disliked trailer on the internet. This was after, like, one day. And, like, me, I even tweeted out and even said it, and, like, a bunch of other Twitter people were like, y'all are just weird. Yeah. You're weird.
Just weird.
Like, you're weird. Like, and I don't want to, like, sit here and be like, you're all misogynist, but Jesus
definitely
Christ. Like, what was actually wrong? What was wrong with the trailer? It looks awesome.
Like I said, from somebody who didn't like the movie, couldn't get into the series, I thought this trailer looked fun. Like I was like, this movie looks fun. I'm into it. I like how they got the Beastie Boys in the trailer. I was like, this movie, I like this.
Did you show me this?
I personally think.
I think you showed me this because now it sounds really familiar.
The trailer?
Yeah.
It came out like Tuesday. There's no way I would have.
No. I may have seen it somewhere, but I didn't watch it all the way through because that sounds real familiar.
So it's like.
But it starts out and there's. Oh, and it even says the name of the space station that they're using as the above the Earth. It's now called Saber. So
instead of Sword.
So that's a little so that's one of the Easter egg things. Is like, okay, well, it was Sword at the end of Far From Home, right? Yes,
I think so.
Yes,
I think
it was Sword at the end of Far From Home. So people are like, well, that means in Secret Invasion something's going to happen with Sword, and then now it's going to to Saber.
Which could be true, because this apparently does take place after Secret Invasion. So
yes. But essentially it has...
which some people are like, well, then this kind of spoils Secret Invasion. Obviously, Nick Fury lives, and it's like, well, do you not know what the story's about? Because is that Nick Fury?
Right. Did you pay attention to the
Did
you see the extra credits?
Yeah, exactly. Are you paying attention?
Like, right. It could be Nick Fury, it could be Talos.
We don't know.
We
won't know until Secret Invasion happens.
I'll tell you right now, Monica Rambeau don't know, but she's working with said Nick Fury apparently in space, and they're approaching some thing.
Definitely looks like some multiversal wall, quantum wall thing, and she touches it, but when she does it, she swaps places with Kamala Khan, and then she goes floating up to the sword. She's like, oh, Nick Fury, is this my audition for the Avengers? Awesome. I think she might steal this.
That's what I'm saying.
This trailer made me feel bad about myself and be like, man, I'm kind of a piece of shit. Maybe I should go back and watch that series now.
It's not horrible.
Well, I've heard nothing actually but good things about that series. I've just heard the ending was really rushed and kind of weird. That's the only thing I've heard.
That is correct.
But other than that, I heard that like the family dynamic is really good. She's great in the role,
which is kind of messed up because the guy that plays.
I just heard and later Marvel news.
He's in some.
We got some Ezra Miller. No, not Ezra Miller.
No, this is like Harvey Weinstein.
That's my. I read my statement.
No, this dude was.
Didn't mean to put that on them.
This dude allegedly, is he accused or has he been convicted? He's just been accused right now, right?
Maybe they're not so different.
He's been accused of...
Allegedly.
He's been accused of shit, and... I'll let y'all out there go Google that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about it. It's messed up. People aren't happy that he's still got his job because of those accusations, but, you know.
Do they mean in this movie or just going forward?
I think they really just mean in this movie, because how the hell,
what do you
who
expect?
knows?
Okay.
Who knows? And that's the other thing, is people were replying like, well, they filmed it before that came out.
The trailer literally just dropped.
We can't release
let's spend
this.
another 50 to 100 million cutting this guy out of the movie.
Right. It's like, no, that's not why they. It's like, no, that's not why they delayed it back a couple months. They delayed it back a couple months so they can clean up the CGI. We can't wait a year for the movie to come. Yeah. Anyways, but no, yeah, the movie looks awesome.
I think it looks fun,
and I like how it seems like they're kind of letting Bree be a little more like a person and and weird. Yeah, a goofball like she is. Because I like when they're in the living room and she swaps places, and then she gets up and she goes, "Oh!" like in frustration, and it's funny. She's like, "Not again!" And she turns around like, "Oh, what's going on?" And that's going to be an interesting dynamic too, because that's the thing, is the Monica Rambeau character isn't real fond of her because she doesn't come back to Earth all the time.
Well, yeah, because isn't the last time? I'd say I'm a little shady on the first Captain Marvel movie, but hasn't she not seen her since she was a kid?
That's the idea.
And hasn't her mom died since then?
Yes.
So that's
the mom has died.
Like,
the mom died,
and they were best friends.
The mom died.
Sorry, Carol and her mom were best friends, right, or like close friends?
Yeah.
So
during the snap, Monica turned to ash. Didn't turn to ash. Didn't turn to ash. I think she didn't turn to ash.
I definitely don't remember if she did or not.
No, maybe she did. And she knew her mom had cancer, but then when she came back after they snapped them all back, that's when she discovered her mom was dead. She didn't survive the battle with cancer.
Oh, okay, that would make
it's
more
something.
It would make that would make.
I'd have to go back and
that
watch
would make more
WandaVision.
writing sense that she would get snapped away.
Yeah.
And then her mom would die while she was gone.
I think that's what it was.
When she came back, she would probably find out that
she was gone.
Carol never came back to visit her.
Yeah.
I'll say there's it has to do something with her,
I have to watch.
Kind of like avoiding Earth.
It is specifically stated in WandaVision, and I just would have to go back and watch it.
Oh, that would make more sense.
Because that's actually how she becomes Photon, is because of WandaVision.
I mean, I also like the dynamic of how the series ends. I guess where she's in her room and you just see all of this Captain Marvel memorabilia, and even like a drawing of like them two like taking a picture together or something like that. What the?
Yeah, it looks really, really good.
It's going to be really cool and interesting to see, because obviously every time they show in the trailer, they might get a hold of it and figure out how to control it. But like the idea is like anytime one of them uses their powers, they like swap places with another.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
That'll be really cool to see how they kind of balance that and how that dynamic goes.
Yeah.
I think that's cool little, like mostly in the in a second movie, at least for Captain Marvel, you usually got people like losing their powers or that typical arc.
Yeah.
But this one's kind of a different wrinkle that we haven't seen. Like even like I said with Blue Beetle with his suit, of like how sometimes it does what he wants, sometimes it doesn't. That's a unique wrinkle that we haven't seen. This is another one.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of a callback to, I think, the original Captain Marvel, because I think he used to swap places with one of his buddies. They used to be able to use their powers and swap places.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's kind of a callback to that, too.
And then I guess Park Seo-joon's character is going to be a singing prince, because they're ripping it straight from a comic where they go to this planet where
I did hear about that.
Everyone talks in rhyme. I'm reading this off the direct right now, and I'm not sure where they pulled it from, but apparently
no idea who that character is.
No idea either, but apparently they go to this planet where they all speak in rhymes.
And I saw that, and I was like, 100% in. That sounds awesome.
Again, I really feel like this movie is set around to actually have Eamon Villani, Kamala Khan's character, really steal it.
Oh my god. I think I actually remember a few years ago there being rumors that The Marvels was going to be like a musical.
Yeah, that's
and
what.
now it makes
sense. That's what a little
because
bit
there's
of
definitely going to be scenes where there's going to be musical notes into it, just because of this planet. That's 100% true.
Could you imagine writing that?
Hey,
100%
I meant to bring it up last time, but I didn't. But guess what? Old Bree, she's got to get ready for that Scott Pilgrim show coming out soon. So she got to get them pipes warmed up.
Flex the golden pipes.
She's got to come back as Envy. You've seen this movie?
Dude, it's been forever.
Oh
I can't
God.
even remember. I've only seen it
fucking
once. I did like it.
Dude, I rewatch it all
I remember
the
I liked
time.
it.
That's a classic
I need to go
movie.
back and especially since they announced
You ever
that there's
watch
going to be
it?
like
I never even
the
heard of
anime.
You've never
even heard of it.
Do yourself a favor and watch Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Okay.
It is good.
It was made in like 2005.
Okay.
Way ahead of its time.
Way ahead of its time. Probably, and a lot of the people that are in it, it probably helped what launched their careers.
It was
There's
amazing seeing like the cast list that was returning to do anime, and I was like, Jesus, there's so many big names in this. I
you're like,
didn't realize it at the time.
yeah. Like you go back and watch that movie, and you're like, these people are all A-list Hollywood celebrities now. It's like back when they were all like just starting out, and they're like very early 20s.
Damn.
Like 18, 19 years old, whatever.
So I definitely need to go back and rewatch it since they announced that they're doing an actual anime. Like that just sounds so cool.
Yeah, I said 2005. It might have been 2010. I think it was 2010.
You act like we ain't got Google.
Google search away, man.
Yes.
The most powerful company in the world. 2010.
Okay, it was 2010. So yeah. Very good movie. Highly recommended. But yeah, saw that they're going to make an animated series and all of the original cast is returning, and I was like, that is hype.
That's sweet.
So, so maybe this is a musical, and again, old Bree's got to get those pipes warmed up for these musical
those
numbers.
golden pipes.
Yep.
My name is Bree.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I hope we trend for that. Then, I guess one other thing about the trailer, too, is that we see a little bit of, is it Zawe? How do you say her name? Zwe? The villain.
Sounds
the girl playing the villain.
Oh, yeah. Let's go with Zawe.
Zawe Ashton.
Apologize greatly if that is wrong.
They don't exactly know the name of her character. They're pretty sure it's some Kree villain. She
makes sense.
In the trailer has Ronan's hammer, so she's like essentially.
I'd say either was it cracked? I couldn't tell. Either way, if it's not Ronan's, it's definitely one that's like
exactly like
identical
his.
to
So
it.
essentially, she's taking over to lead the accusers, and she's going to be the villain. And then that's who they're fighting in the shot at the end when they're all three fighting her. But when you see it, though, she's got a bangle on, so that looks like Kamala's.
The second one.
I was gonna say, actually that makes sense. It's probably the second one for Kamala Khan to have, so she'll get it in this movie because she's using the bangle to fight the three of them, and like Captain Marvel or Carol Danvers, like she's wielding the hammer trying to fight her. So like in the shot, so.
I was saying, then they had the money shot at the end where like all three of them are like coming around her. It's like, and then Bree comes in at the end. Bree comes in.
God, awesome.
Yeah, that's officially how I just pronounce her name from now on.
Yeah,
as it should be.
Just meet her in real life one day. Just Bree.
It's very
nice.
Pleasure to meet you, Bree.
Why do you say my name like that? Like what?
Like what? I mean,
just I'm obsessed with death metal. I'm sorry.
Anybody that has the name Bree, I'm sorry. Bree. I don't know. Sorry, that was the one time.
But yeah, no. Again piggybacking on the weirdo hate. Don't get it. The movie looks really fun.
Dude.
I understand that there's
people don't like anything, dude.
Huh?
They'll find a reason to hate
it's
everything.
like
I think it's just.
I feel like it's literally just because it's a team-up movie with 3 female leads. Like
it's either
like
that,
just
either that or like legitimately just trolls just fucking hate Brie Larson so much.
Or literally that.
And I really hate that because honestly I don't mind her. And
she's grown on me. I used to be kind of one of the people that I was like, damn, you come off kind of rude in public. But now I'm kind of like all about it. I'm like, you know what?
Part of me wonders if that's just because like she's my age, maybe your guys' age. She's not. I mean, you know, like she might have just came off that way because fuck, dude, people are people. They're people too.
Oh no, no.
And she's super woke. A lot of people don't like that.
I was about to say, I think the only other reason that like rubbed me the wrong way is when she like
hell, I had a
promoted like NFTs or something like that, and I was like, oh, you're fucking lame. But then like the recent like round of interviews that she's done when she just started like giving people like I don't know.
So
like,
did Shaq, and now he's trying to. Now they're trying to sue
so
him.
in there like swimwear.
But just most recently, like interview I see her in, like I just kind of like chuckle and laugh. I'm just kind of like,
I think she's
like, you know what, you're kind of funny. Like,
yeah,
I think she realized that if people don't like her, they're not going to watch her movies. I mean,
well, and I think she realized too. Maybe she realized like, oh, I maybe am kind of condescending and rude in my interviews because like she's probably very concerned with being a unique person and being her own person and trying to like the whole I am me and my success is because of me, which is great, the great attitude. But I think that recently I've seen her in interviews, and like I said, that one on the red carpet when they were like asking her about being Captain Marvel, and she was like, I don't know, people even want me anymore. I was like,
that was the interview where I was like, I kind of like...
I had the Randy Marsh moment in the Night of Living Homeless. I'm just like, now I feel bad. like you know, like, I mean, which I felt bad anyway, because...
Well, I think, honestly, part of her problems with maybe some people, I think some people just hate her, but...
Yeah,
I think she kind of has some of the same problems that, like, Daisy Ridley has playing Rey. Honestly, when you boil it down to it.
Yeah.
She's just... I mean, she's literally Marvel's version of, like, Superman. She's just so powerful that it kind of comes off boring sometimes to some people.
Well,
and especially when there's, like, no...
Playing the part, yeah. You know,
there's also, like, she just kind of, like, gets the powers, too, and is just all powerful and stuff like that. It's like, when you think about it, Superman's kind of the same way. It's just he gets sent to another planet that has a yellow sun, and that's why he's so powerful.
And he was one of and he was one of the big first ones, you know. He's one of
Well, he was the first.
And granted, he is the first, but...
Yeah, and that's the thing with Marvel, is that, like, you know... She's, like, up until MCU and all this, and it started blowing up... I mean, she was like, not many. You were a hardcore fan if you knew who she was. Like, most people, you'd be like, they'd be like, who?
Shazam?
Like, yeah, yeah, possibly.
For a lot of people, yeah.
But yeah, like that's the thing is like I think people just don't realize that. Well, that's how she's always been written. You just never knew it because she's not a big popular name for Marvel up until now.
Yeah,
and that's
I also just don't think Marvel Studios did themselves any favors either, just in the way they wrote her. Just like they kind of made her movie seem like it was super important before Endgame. I think is why it partially made a lot of money.
I think that they, yeah,
and the way she shows up in Endgame.
Right, she's just.
But that's not on her.
Are you talking about the symbolism to the apocalypse?
Hey, give Brie Larson her Ahmed Best moment.
Dude, this movie could be it. It seems like KP alluded to, it kind of allows... It seemed like they kind of were allowing her to be more herself in a way, and a little bit more human, and not so...
rigid?
Yeah, like...
Well, like, so, like...
It seems like they're allowing her to have a little bit more fun.
Because the first movie, it's like... She's... all she is just a very sarcastic personality. That's just kind of it. That's what it is, and it's funny at times. And then she's very, very serious. Where this movie, it kind of seems like they kind of let the goofy personality come out. That's all. Yeah, but
I'm looking forward to this. I didn't think I was going to be saying that before this trailer dropped.
I didn't either.
I am actually...
I really didn't know what to think, but then this trailer dropped, and I was like, oh, that movie actually looks like it's going to be pretty good, pretty entertaining.
Looks like a good time, so I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. But that's really all in the old worlds of Marvel.
I think Guardians is projected to make anywhere from, like... What was it, like 130 to 150?
Oh, that's the other thing is like, oh God, was it? I think Sean Gunn said that it's Rocket's swan song.
That's not what he said, though.
Well, it's not what he said.
That's what everybody's taking it as.
People are like, that means it's a swan song, and it's like
Sean Gunn, I think, came. Yeah, and was it with Empire or something? Was basically just said that like I'm getting pretty old to play Rocket. It's getting harder to play Rocket. So like this is my swan song of playing Rocket. So everybody's taking that as confirmed Rocket's dying.
It's like no,
but it's like no,
he's just gonna have a different actor.
I'm about to say they're probably hey, Andy Serkis.
Feed a new one. Just,
But that's what I took it as, was just he was going to be done playing the character, because obviously he's probably going to be busy over at DC, G.I. Robot, and Weasel. But obviously Rocket's still on the table to potentially die, especially with who the villain is within this movie. I still would put my money on Drax, but
I would say it's going to be Drax.
I'd say that's where my money would be on.
Same.
At least Drax. But I think Rocket may live on. They'll just probably get somebody else to play him.
I would imagine, yeah.
Loses his voice, loses his humanity.
No, we need Bradley.
No, you need the Bradley.
We need Bradley forever.
And Bradley leaves, kill him. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Just turn him into.
I can't have anyone else. Don't you even think.
No. You know what? Get Bradley out there. Make him do the motion capture and the voice. Make him earn his money.
Yeah.
Oh. Is this breaking news?
Do we have breaking news?
Oh my!
Via the direct MCU Blade reboot gets filming update amid delay concerns report.
All right. What do we got here, KP? Get a little title screen.
That's all I think of.
God.
And welcome to the nightly breaking news. Today on Marvel, we'll ship it over to our lead podcaster, KP. Take it away with the breaking Marvel news.
Apparently, Hollywood Reporter recently claimed that actress Mia Goth, who plays a role in Blade, will join the film's production in June, indicating that the Marvel movie will have entered principal photography. This update lines up with insider Daniel RPK's assertion that Blade will start shooting on May 30th. Okay.
And that concludes the news. Thanks for watching.
Okay.
All right, now we
on to Star Wars, bull.
Ooh, a little Star Weezy. Star Wussy. Well, start out with, obviously, breaking news as of this week. Wes Chatham, who played in Expanse, Tenet, Hunger Games, is going to be the right-hand man of Thrawn. Supposed to be his captain, which is a little strange just because I was expecting like an Eli Vanto appearance or I don't know. There's still a chance for Arlani, but yeah, this guy, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking the lead for a second of Tenet, and I was like, wait, what?
And all I have to say is that people who know me and know Wes Chatham know that this will be the first Star Wars character I can cosplay. So
let's go.
Hey, I'm excited.
I mean, honestly, anyone can cosplay a Mandalorian, so...
That's fair. That's true.
Just saying.
This is the way.
But, obviously, starting out with Filoni and Zahn, the connection there to make sure Thrawn's right. That's a thank God moment for me. Obviously, I said it to you already, but he definitely, in that meeting, went, look, bitch, I don't read books. Yeah. Well, you better start.
What'd you write in here?
Listen,
what do I need to know?
Yeah. Listen, if you drop an Heir to the Empire in the Ahsoka trailer, you read them fucking books. Right. You read them books.
That or he's already spoken with said Mr. Zahn.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, surely he's had to have spent loads of time building up both of these series. So.
What animated series did he... Was it Rebels or Clone Wars?
Who?
Thrawn.
Oh, Rebels and then books.
Didn't Filoni write Rebels?
He did both, Clone Wars and Rebels.
So he's already talked to the guy.
But if you see Thrawn's portrayal in Rebels, it is not the Thrawn that you get in the book at all. Like at all. It makes
even in the are you talking in the canon books or the books that are no longer canon?
The canon books. Yeah, there's the original.
Let's say you said this go ahead and break it down again.
So the Heir to the Empire series is the first 3 books where Thrawn appears, and that's Timothy Zahn's first trilogy. That was canon until Disney took over, and that's one of the things that got axed. Now they brought him back, and he released another new trilogy that's considered canon, and then now he's got a second trilogy that's canon. So he's technically Thrawn has 3 trilogies of books. two of
Two
which
of
are
them,
canon.
Yeah.
So, and that's what's interesting is they take the one. Well, not really interesting. I think Filoni's going to adapt Heir to the Empire to fit the Ahsoka series. I think the Ahsoka series is going to be
Adapt Luke whooping that ass.
Yeah, to
Because
Ahsoka.
that's what the original is
Yeah, basically to Ahsoka whooping it.
Yeah.
So it's like you're gonna get it. You're gonna get interesting adaptations there because Sabayoth is the Jedi clone or the Sith clone. Well, it was Jedi, now Sith clone. That is basically kind of the big bad in the Heir to the Empire series because he's always around and he's always manipulating things. And then we see this Balin guy show up, and you're like, there you go. There you go. That's going to be your parallel. So
yeah, but they've said though that like those two are like, I don't know, they're not entirely.
There's something off about them because
Yeah.
they've even pointed out how the female like people have just said Padawan because she straight up has like a Padawan braid in her hair.
Yeah, there's something about those two where it's like I think they're more of like they have their own goals and they're not going to care who gets in their way.
well, right, and I think that honestly that with them having those blood orange sabers, and then in the trailer when she says there's not many Jedi left, and then it cuts to those two just jacking people up, and you're like, they were obviously Jedi at one point, and then if she has the Padawan
That's what
tail,
it seems is almost, if
Yeah.
anything, it seems like they're either like Jedi that are in the process of kind of like falling to the dark side or
with no leadership.
I don't know
Or
if this is
it's
going to be their
more of
interpretation of like a dark Jedi or a
Well, because that's
gray
the,
Jedi.
well, that's the
Yeah.
thing is like the Clone Wars made the Jedi lose track of who they really were supposed to be, and like the thing is always like we're keepers of the peace, not soldiers. But the thing is like then the Clone Wars happen, and then they basically all get turned into soldiers, and they're just trained to like I don't want to say kill, but they pretty much
They're
are.
generals. They're all generals.
They're army generals. Like, they're trained to be soldiers. And then that's, like, the whole point of Clone Wars is that these young Jedi all have a trouble of where's the line drawn. And the Masters don't really do much of shit to help because they're so wrapped up with their politics in the Senate that they just didn't have the time.
And they're doing what they have to do to survive
So,
at this point.
yeah. So it makes sense where you'd have characters like this that are like, I'm sure Balin, they'll have Clone Wars references. And Balin will say shit along the lines of something like that, of like how, like, well, we all like lost our ways anyway. I mean,
Yeah, because they could be ex-Inquisitors too, for all we know. That's real. That's kind of what my.
I
thought
wonder
was.
if that one is an ex-Inquisitor.
Possibly.
Because he's got all the armor on.
He looks like a medieval knight. It's
That's the one that shows up at the end. You're talking about with the
That's
double blade.
That's who I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh,
That has to
the
be an
double
Inquisitor.
blade, okay.
That one has to be an Inquisitor
That's-
because it even has like the ring around it too, where it looks like it could spin.
And they had the
Yeah.
sheen black armor.
I'd say
too.
yeah, and he's like all armored up.
Yeah,
Or she. I don't even know if it's he or
straight
she.
out of Survivor.
Dude, honestly,
Fallen Order. I'm sorry.
that one at the end,
The one
I
that she
wonder-
pushes, your force pushes back and slides.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, and it could just be like the girl that's got the Padawan braid and stuff. Could be just her in a suit of armor. I don't know. Part of me is wondering if it's maybe because like maybe he didn't die. Do you remember the Inquisitor that is in Twilight of the Apprentice in part 2? He takes off with doing the helicopter blade, but it shorts out and he falls. And,
Yeah.
and they do that same sound bite they always do. I kind of wonder if it could just be him and he survived.
Oh yeah, that's
So
an
I posted,
Inquisitor blade.
I'd
Yeah.
say
Like, yeah,
I
because-
posted that picture in the last episode.
I kind of
when we were
wonder
talking
if
about
it's
the trailer.
if it's that brother, like maybe he survived that fall or something. Like
Maybe.
even though it's pretty high up there, but whatever. You all want Mace Windu to survive, so I don't care.
Just shit.
So,
Well, hey, we saw a scene in this where Ahsoka jumps out the window and falls through some atrium area all the way down from this tall building, and you're like,
well,
huh?
or
jumping out of planes.
or watching the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars, she's skydiving while
Jumping ship
which
to
hey,
ship,
I'm not complaining. It was awesome.
hot.
Yeah, but anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, no, but no, it's obviously the Filoni-Zahn connection, the fact that they're actually committing to do it right, because to me, that means that how important it is to get his character right for the people that know Thrawn. Because I'm telling you, if you don't stick this, and he's not the Thrawn that we're... I mean, the people that like Thrawn, I think more so like him from the books than they do from the Rebels series. So what audience do you want to appease? Because you showed Thrawn being this evil character. But that's the thing, he's not such an evil character. He does what he has to do to stay relevant in the Empire, but he's not an evil character. And they're like, oh, he's... I saw a bunch of reviews of the Ahsoka trailer, and people were like, oh, he's such a big bad, and all that. No, he's not. And if you make him that way, you're going to kill the character. He's not for the Empire. That's not what he's for. He's for the Chiss Ascendancy. It's all he cares about. Don't ruin it. I'll take. But
I'm sure it'll come out and it'll be like some big. That'll probably be like the twist of the show.
Yeah.
Is he's going to be like, oh, I don't actually give two shits about this Empire.
I got something for that too.
Like, I feel like Thrawn is like gonna reveal the twist of it's gonna be that Thrawn's gonna reveal to Ahsoka or all of them or whatever. The twist is he's gonna be like, no, they're a means to an end.
Yeah,
you know, like.
Well, and here's I'll touch a little bit on that when we get to Mando, and that's pretty much.
I feel like we could also talk about Thrawn again when Mando gets brought up.
Yes, indeed, and
because I have some theories, small theories about that as well. So
yeah,
with as little knowledge as I know about Thrawn,
it's awesome. And but lighter news, funnier news, comical news, anger news.
That was a lot.
Just awful news.
Oh my god, we got a fourth one.
Holy shit!
If I could think of any more adjectives for this, stupid news.
Are you enraged?
1, 2, 3, 4.
New York Times released a list of the most influential people of 2023. Rian Johnson made that list, and you know what in that in that article what it said that he made the best Star Wars movie ever.
It's like the biggest L take I've ever fucking heard in my life.
Who wrote this?
Did they just immediately get reposted on freezing cold takes? Just immediately, as soon as that article goes up, just freezing cold takes on Twitter just goes, oh, easy.
Like
I ain't gotta wait for this one.
Like I did, like I didn't even. I didn't even know.
Shit, we need the trend. I got something. I got something. I've always got this in my back pocket.
Bruh, I didn't even think it was true. I like deep dove into it after I saw that initially. I'm like, this has got to be some sort of shitty joke, just terrible joke. And I'm like, and dude, all I see is like, there's like Star Wars fan pages on Facebook and everything, and it's everywhere on all of them, and it's all like highlighted, and you see like
one of the topic posted of, "Are you kidding me?" Just
says, "Please never come back." So that's a whole bunch of them. Please don't come
fan base. Just one posting. Just, dude, are you kidding me? And then the very next post was like, "Oh my god, New York Times genius! They're so right." And it's just like,
yeah,
God damn you!
And you're wrong. And you will always be wrong.
You will,
and this is why you will always lose. In the words of Vader.
Jesus.
But anyway, but on from that. Shoot, let me see here.
I'm trying to find.
I think.
Where is this at?
I think that's.
Here
we're in Mando now. Quite a bit on Mando.
All right, so.
Unless you guys have anything you want to bring up.
I don't know. I just don't like that the author. It's the fucking worst Star Wars movie ever.
It's garbage.
I'd rather watch Solo.
Hot garbage. Dude, not even a question. I would watch Solo 10 times over before I watch that thing twice. You know, I can suffer through any of those one time, but Solo is not as bad as that pile of dung.
That movie was just a complete spit in the face of like the fan base, and just the trilogy. Just like, JJ, you set this up? Nah, son. I'm gonna build my own Legos.
We're not gonna do any of that.
Just for JJ to come back and be like, wait, no, he didn't mean that. Screw it. This is what we got.
Dude, I know.
Just pay us money and give us another $1 billion so we can make another trilogy.
No shit.
Right, that's high hopes for the next
hate on Kathleen Kennedy all you want. Still one of the greatest producers in Hollywood of all time, because all she does is make that money.
Does that make you great?
Hey, I'm not saying that she ran Star Wars great, but when she inevitably does leave, she's going to go on to do great things and make a fuck ton of money.
That's fine. Just go do it somewhere
Like
else.
she always
at the expense
has.
of the fans.
And stay away from Marvel and fucking DC.
I feel like really Star
You guys
Wars.
can have
I
it.
feel like Star Wars is really her only blemish.
No, I feel like Marvel should definitely not got a job. Like they're gonna be like, no,
feel
Disney. Bob's like, we don't want anything to do with
Bob
you
not
anymore."
here.
Yeah.
I clean.
I feel like Star Wars and her whole career is really her only blemish. Like she just wasn't the right person to take that job.
No, she didn't. I don't think she quite understood the depth to which people actually care about Star Wars universe, and
That's what I think, is that they were out of touch about how much we actually care about Star Wars.
yeah, like the universe and the world that's been built by George.
Like, they thought, like, they definitely sat there, made that shit, and were like, oh, people just like this no matter what, because it's fun, it's Star Wars, blah, 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 and it's like, no, we hate you now.
Well, you know what? Actually, I want to say one thing about that part of it, too. And it's like, I saw a post, and it was so relevant. It had, like, a picture of C-3PO's head on a battle droid body in the prequels. It had Jar Jar Binks jumping around, and it was like, oh my god, so cool, George gave us this. And then it goes to, like, Lizzo and Jack Black, and they're like, that was gaudy, too much, you're ruining Star Wars universe. Like people quoting the fans and how they feel about shit. I'm like, there you go. That's the hypocrisy of every Star Wars fan ever, is that George did it.
Right.
Something else cool comes out. Unless George did it, lame. You're ruining Star Wars. You think that he doesn't have any say in any of this? Yes, he does. If someone were to sit there and tell me right now that George has nothing to do with Star Wars at all, to any extent, you're a liar.
You're a liar.
You're a liar. And he's come out and even said, he's like, I'll just let them do what they want. Right. Okay. But then I see you interacting on sets now with, Rosario Dawson and stuff like that. I see you out there interacting with these people, and you're like, oh, you aren't involved, huh?
Right. Yeah, you aren't involved? Uh-huh.
Yeah, your finger is dipped in everything Star Wars, so if he would come out and say, but that's the thing, he's not going to come out and say that after that trash sequel.
Fans randomly bitch about, like, that shit, like Jack Black, or whatever. Oh, terrible, awful. They're
God,
like, they praise George, and it's like, the guy had a dude make out with his sister.
Yeah.
I don't see the problem. they didn't know it.
They didn't know it at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't know it.
No problem here.
Just like, I mean, yeah, and the prequel's still like, I mean,
Whoa, this pod racing.
Yeah.
yeah, Phantom Menace and Attack are both like rough to watch.
Bro, when R2 pulls the head of C-3PO off of that battle droid and he says, "This is such a drag," I'm like, bruh, you do that now, people would fillet you on every social media platform. I mean, but George did it.
Well, they filleted Rogue One about Vader's comment. Just careful not to choke on your aspiration or on your admirations. And people were pissed, like, oh, he's so cheesy, and it's like
it's all cheesy. It's all cheesy.
Right? It's like it's supposed to be.
Where have we lost our way? And oh god, I can't even stand to be on Facebook on these Facebook groups, the fan groups.
Oh no,
it's like a tee-off session.
No,
like they post one GIF or one picture, and you got 12,000 comments of people going garbage bags. When
I was on Facebook,
DC Twitter, bro. That's been especially this Flash trailer. Just like, Ben Affleck went from this to this, and it's literally like a zoomed in shot of his face, and it's just like,
oh, I saw those photos today.
I'm like, dude,
yeah,
you're such a little bitch. Like you type of people are such little bitches.
I liked more how people were paying attention to that last photo and that reveal. I'm like, oh, that doesn't look good.
Barry. What, when he's in the lightning?
Well, yeah,
I love how people like complain so much about how CG looks in a fucking trailer.
Dude.
When literally these superhero shows and movies do basically CGI until the week of do they complete it, and they're bitching about like how a trailer. They're just and these are probably the same people that bitched about the fucking Last of Us giraffe about that looks CGI.
Yeah,
it was a real fucking giraffe. Y'all are ignorant. You don't know what you're talking about.
Dude,
Shut the fuck up.
I wonder how many comments were deleted that day. Like how many?
Right.
Like, they go back like, oh shit, delete that right now. Delete.
Wait, it was real? Oh shit.
Now I'm a big ass.
Oh god, how many people? Oh my god, 1,000 people saw my tweet. Fuck!
Stop retweeting my shit.
No, don't retweet shit.
Now everyone knows.
Yeah.
That's my favorite when a celebrity like claps back at somebody on Twitter, and then you go to look to see the tweet that they were clapping back at, but the tweet is deleted. It's like, oh, couldn't handle the heat, huh?
Right. Exactly. You're gonna post that on
You'll
social
talk
media.
that shit, but as soon as the heat comes at you,
The firing
getting
squad.
out of the kitchen.
The internet firing squad. Every time. You guys ready to do Mando?
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
sure.
I am so ready.
Oh,
Man.
banger. Banger.
it says-
Do we need to take a break? Change bats?
We're probably good. That's the actual battery in there, not the crummier one. So
Okay, so
we'll hope for the best here.
yeah, I mean, even if we gotta finish a little bit, that's no big deal.
That battery should be good for 2 hours, and
No,
we're
we
only
just
at
broke
like
an hour, yeah.
Yeah, we're only at an hour.
We're doing good today.
I knew this. Yeah, this one was definitely going to be a short one. So
Yeah. Well, feels just like a finale without being the finale to me. This whole episode is just building to a point. It's awesome.
Good penultimate episode.
yeah,
Oh
great
my
penultimate episode.
God. This was my favorite. I mean, obviously Luke's return is my number one Mando of all the seasons. I don't think that there's many people that would disagree. Some, sure, but that's just...
This one was just cool because it was just like it was literally Star Wars Rebels all over again when they go to Mandalore and they're fighting Gar Saxon squad. It's Mandalorians against Mandalorians
in Beskar.
and all of them in Beskar. I mean, now granted,
They're
they
Death
weren't-
Troopers.
Now granted, I was gonna say they weren't Mandalorians; they were Death Troopers. But but yes, it was awesome.
Let's start off. So obviously we open up. We're in Coruscant again.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So we're in Coruscant
The
again.
spy.
The depths.
Yeah, I can't remember her name. I never remember her name.
So here's the thing. I'm just going to throw this question out to you guys before we get into this breakdown.
It's the swole girl.
The episode was called either Spies or The Spies. Who's the second spy?
Well, there's a
Great question.
There's a ton of theory on that right now going around the old internet.
See, there's a big theory of who
Called
people...
the spies.
Yeah.
So,
So there is a the. Okay.
All right. So, anyways, the one spy,
The confirmed spy.
the confirmed,
right off the
we know she's a bad bitch,
bat. Yeah.
and I mean that as in she's a
She could break you.
yeah she's and she's just a bad person. So bad
So,
bitch.
if you guys saw Quantumania, the jacked lady with the paint, the face paint, right? Other stuff. Yeah, that's her. That's the same chick. She can break any one of us.
And shoot, what was it? So, it was the old school probe droid.
Yep.
I know. I
Yep.
love that. Love that.
Scans her face. She has
Like
to
how
give
she could do
her-
the TK code.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
Wasn't
cool.
even making the womp sounds.
Yeah.
You're like the
That is
Yeah.
one thing that at least Disney has done pretty well at is those
The
nostalgic
nostalgia
sounds.
moments, Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
oh,
even
yeah.
especially like sounds. Like they've done a good job of like they update some sounds in certain aspects,
Yeah.
but they're really good at just keeping those classic ones and bringing them
Right.
back. Just
Oh yeah, and especially with that.
and with
probe.
music too, they do a really good job.
And
With
it's
music.
so funny how, like,
always.
back in the day, people would be like, oh, this director's psychotic, he needs it exact. And, like, nowadays we're like, yeah, it better be.
It better- it built up this expectation.
Right. Like,
But he asked about. They have a discussion about Dr. Pershing, obviously.
Yeah.
And what happened to him, and they kind of did that flashback of him in the beginning where it's, you set me up.
Yeah.
You set me up. She just cranks it. Obviously, burnt toast by now, but.
I guess.
Yeah.
Guess that's the confirmation there.
And after the briefing for that, because basically she brings to him that the Mandalorians are the ones that gave the pirates trouble on Navarro. And he says, which Mandalorians? Says Bo-Katan and Din Djarin. And he says those factions are mortal enemies.
he's like, this can't be those factions or mortal enemies.
Yep.
And she's like, well,
says, well, there it is.
that's what, she's
That's
like,
why I'm
well,
here.
she's like, well, that's what's reported, so I guess you better go do something about it.
Yep. So then he does the dope turnaround and
Wait.
all the the red walls.
But all it could make me think of was...
Quiet. R.I.P.
boy.
Yeah, I was like, oh, don't show me that.
Just stop in the middle one.
You're right.
Do us all a favor.
I do like it though, and this is what gives me hope. Another theory is they keep laying these Easter eggs to another boy, and this was the first one.
Yeah.
It's also with the same character that the scene's with. That there's obviously with the fight, because that was between Maul, Obi, and Qui-Gon, but then later when he shows up in the suit, it's on the helmet.
Yeah.
True.
It's true. That's true. I didn't even think about that. That's solid. Banger. And dude, tell me I'm wrong. Moff Gideon's theme song is iconic.
That was great. I love how they built him up. They built him up so great.
Oh, it's great.
From him going to be a one-off to this actually built up oh no, this dude's a big deal.
Well, and that also answers a lot of our questions.
Giancarlo was probably like, I'm a big deal.
Yeah. And dude, the answers our questions about the war crimes and how he got the saber and everything. Obviously, we have that. But then you see him in the armor.
At the end, yeah. I just liked how at the beginning, though, again, he's walking down the hallway. There's all those clone tubes. People are like, who do you think it was? And some people are like, it's these two, idiot. And they showed, a picture of both Snoke and Palpatine. People were like, it's these two, you moron. This is what, just accept it's what they're getting to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it definitely was one of those two. It's probably more, I don't know. I feel like it's, they're all, attempts at Palpatine, and then Snoke is just this...
The best they can do.
Something that was the best they could do and then they were just okay with it, and then that allowed them to have a face for time to make real Palpatine to come back.
Yeah, and I
I always took Snoke, at least as far as they built this up, I've kind of felt like Snoke was just more of a puppet for Palpatine. So Palpatine. Well, right. I feel like Palpatine was already back.
But in Rise of Skywalker, it shows Snoke and failed Snoke clones in the
tubes. I get that. Yeah, so which I agree. I feel like that's what they're alluding to as well. But I don't think Snoke was a temporary face until they could get Palpatine back. I think Palpatine was already back by the time they actually put the Snoke that we see in the movies.
Well,
I think Snoke was more of a puppet for Palpatine when he was back, so that people didn't know he was back.
Well, also
but they still had a face to fear and listen to for the Empire.
Well,
that's just how I always took it. I could be 100% wrong.
Filoni
will fill that in eventually.
Dark side, a lot of dark side science went into that because he's all disfigured and huge, and like you saw, when the Kaminoans cloned somebody, they looked like the person they cloned because of science. Well, the Sith are
maybe that's
forget that. We can't figure that out.
Dude, maybe that's why Snoke's all huge and shit, because he has some Kaminoan blood in him.
They look similar as far as their features.
He's tall and lanky.
He actually looks like one of the
that could be true.
Plagueis.
I was going to say I saw a theory that I saw
the Munes.
Yeah, the whole idea that he could be Plagueis or a clone of Plagueis, that's been floating around since Force Awakens or since Force Awakens Last Jedi, whichever one of the two of them.
Well, the thing is, it's the Munes themselves, I mean, there was a lot of Force-sensitive ones, but they didn't train in the ways of the Jedi. So maybe they were pulling from that bloodline or something. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, but anyway, all right, so the Shadow Council meeting.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Which was dope.
It was dope.
We got Pelion, we got Rex, we got
Hux.
Papa Hux.
Papa Hux, sorry.
I was going to say, that seemed like that was Papa Hux.
And you know what? It's the younger brother of the actor who played General Hux.
Who I believe.
I was going to say, because it looked like, I was sitting there, I'm like, is that? Huh?
And he just looks like a psycho, all disheveled and stuff. He's just it's hilarious when I watch him talk. He's like, what about pushing?
Dude, it's like he's obsessed with the cloning.
Yeah,
shit. Obsessed with it.
Well, and that's what's cool is they set up this dynamic with Gideon against Thrawn for the power struggle of heir to the Empire.
I know. I loved how so it's Thrawn's right hand man that's speaking for him, and Moff's like, where's he at?
Yeah.
He's just he's not here.
I've heard whispers, but I've never heard of Thrawn. Literally what he says.
Right.
I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah, that's what I love too, is he's like, we all know throughout the Outer Rim, they all talk about us. They all whisper about the Empire. He goes, I've never once heard of a Grand Admiral Thrawn being thrown around.
Well, in my opinion, I think in the next episode,
he's
going to find out who he is.
I really honestly hope that that's the thing, is like they revealed all this shit at Celebration, because we're going to have... I really hope he's... Even if it's just a quick cameo, quick scene shot, whatever, I really hope he's in it.
I would even take the voice over the radio of him, like, explaining what's going to happen or something. Like, this is what's going to happen. Like, right. He just comes in with that velvet voice and just rips everybody apart.
Yeah.
And Gideon just goes, okay.
I feel like it might be a pretty good bet.
Because I feel like why would they...
Because it's just...
Why would they walk Lars out at Celebration?
Right.
Like,
he's been involved. You know, like, he's had to have been involved.
I feel like he might make an appearance then. Cause
I think even Filoni even came out and said something about the finale, saying that, I think fans are going to have a lot to talk about after the finale. And I was like...
I'm taking that a different way, though. I kind of hate that because... I saw some shit about... Someone said, like, fans might be conflicted on how they feel after the finale. And I was like, oh, God.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Fuck off, Sarah.
But, so that was this actually brings up my point from earlier, in that I think, to your point, like you say, the Empire was just a means to an end. Well, I think after all this time he's spent and he sees where the Empire is now in shambles and where the New Republic is as opposed to the Empire, because the New Republic at this point could probably wax the Empire with what's left, but they hide in the shadows.
That's why they're hiding. Yeah.
Right. So he sees that. Thrawn, at the point of which he joined the Empire, knew that was his best chance at fighting the Grisk and holding off all the threats from the Chiss Ascendancy from whatever the place is. And now he's going to spend a little bit more time dealing with the New Republic, who might be his best option for fighting against the Grisk. Because I think that's what Ahsoka senses is coming, and it's evil or dark. I don't think it's more Sith. I think it's the Grisk. It's about time for a new antagonist. And how about a whole race of people who are immune to the Force?
Right.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, and they're manipulative. I think they're...
So how would you feel about things? Well, you'd still be getting your Thrawn, I guess, because he's still...
I feel like it's just to be like a breath of fresh air and something different into the universe the right way.
Absolutely, and it's something that we've been building.
Because it would still, his goal would still be protecting the Chiss and their best interest.
So at the end of this, he could look at Ahsoka and say, I'm not your enemy. They're your enemy. I want to help you because you want to help me. Because we can't do this on our own.
Right.
And so I don't think, obviously, you're going to get Empire fighting by New Republic, but I think that one will get phased out. One will be phased out to some extent. I think that they'll get phased out, and I think that he'll be involved with leadership on the other side at some point against a common enemy.
Damn.
Because, his last book is called Greater Good. I say it all the time, but that's what he's there for, the greater good.
Man, Hera's not going to know what to think.
Yeah. Well, and we also don't know, we saw little dude, Ezra. We saw Ezra.
He's in the trailer.
And it's a recording, so we don't know for sure if he's alive or if he's missing or what, or if he'll be involved a lot. But at least we know that, and that's the thing, they were spending all that time together. How long have they been gone? Together. How long? How long is that? How long do you think it is? Honestly. I think by this point, how long?
Maybe by the end of the show, she'll have him and Ezra will stop her from killing him because he's going to be like, no, you need to hear this out.
Yeah, he's not the threat that's come. It's looming. Yeah. It's something worse than him.
Right.
Something worse than the Empire. Because in the Legends books, the Yuuzhan Vong were the creatures that came, but the Grisk are the ones they're building up to replace them in Legends. That's the working, pretty solid theory. And the Yuuzhan Vong were just barbarians that had tusks and long hair and they're huge creatures, and Luke had to save everybody on that. Luke and the Sith, the Jedi and the Sith,
that's
had to
the
come
noise
together.
they make, KP. I don't know if you knew that. It's coming from a Star Wars expert. That's what
That's
they
the
sound like.
Yuzanva. I
Yeah.
like it.
That's what they sound like. You guys
you
will
wanna
see.
use it,
You guys will
we'll
see in
charge
a
you.
couple of years.
We'll charge you. God. All right, so
Project Necromancer,
they bring up that,
which is Palps,
yeah. I was like, that's
which is Daddy
obvious.
Palps.
Papa Palps.
Yeah, this is Papa Palps, and and that's another thing that's pushing away. I mean, you can see Gideon is lying the entire time because you see all the cloning tubes. And they say,
Cloning is your interest, not mine.
Exactly, and I'm like looking at him. I'm like, bro, you just walk by him. And
That's where people are theorizing that he's trying to get himself cloned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I did see that. Yep.
yeah, that would make sense too.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but then, let's see here. Then, right after that, we basically cut away because a few of the Shadow Council, and I don't know exactly which ones, they agreed with Gideon and kind of sided with him, so
They did,
obviously
yeah.
we see the split. But the ones that matter didn't agree with him. So,
Right.
like Rax.
So then we cut back to our beloved Mandos.
Yep, the light cruiser goes right over Navarro, and the protocol droid freaks out, and he's like,
So awesome.
there's an Imperial cruiser looming above the city, and it's like,
He's
See
like,
that?
that more.
Giant mythosaur on the bottom of this light cruiser. I'm like, let's go. That's awesome. They kind of
Got a whole fleet now too.
yeah, and it's like Imperial warships that they've stolen, and then obviously
This
they
is
still
the
have
way.
some old school battleships and stuff like that, and carriers, and I think one of them was like an Imperial transport vessel that we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw that, and then they get to the camp, and there's obviously animosity because all the the Night Owl.
I loved it how all the Clan Crease members they all walk up and they're all just like immediate off, and I was like, oh, this is gonna start shit. I was like,
Paz did the
right.
stomped his foot, put his arms out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
uh-oh. And he already starts having a pissing contest with
Well, and I loved it too because
wolves or
I loved
wolves
it too because he turns to his son. He's like, take the children inside the camps,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, oh,
and they all had like bags over their head,
Right.
training to wear the helmets.
right. It's
That's
like,
funny.
oh, throw down. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but no.
Yeah, and
Princess stops that, and
Princess and dong dong
Yep.
dong.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I think the armor. There's a big time theory that she is Rook.
Rook.
Yep.
That was the right hand of Maul,
Yep. Which is why she has the thorns.
and they never
Or the
remove their
horns.
helmet, so you never find out who she is. She's the armorer.
I do have hope that she's not the second spy,
Well, but that's the only way it makes sense.
but it also doesn't with her character at the same time.
Well, yeah, but someone was.
Oh, if she is Rook, then
Yeah.
it makes sense. But also it doesn't because it seems like she's been a part of this
Yeah,
for a while. It makes sense and it doesn't, which is part of a problem. But also, too, I'm going to throw this caveat out there. We talked about this last week. There was a Mandalorian helmet, lighted in red.
Mm-hmm.
Told you it wasn't Mando. This week confirmed it wasn't Mando. And while I was watching this week, I noticed a certain other helmet. It was the Armorer's. But it was in that blue light, and I was like, son of a bitch.
she's a good guy.
It ain't her. Or is that what they want us to think?
Definitely
But
what they want us to think.
they've been truthful in the intros. They haven't lied in the intro. So it's like, is this that one time?
Dude, it's like the ultimate like bamboozle. Like
It could be.
So they really. Okay, I'm looking.
So
at her.
I understand
So
why
she-
people.
Yeah, Maul / Saxon.
Which is why
Yeah.
which is why I asked actually like a few weeks ago. I don't know if you guys remember me asking like, could the armor potentially be a part of the Maul clan? You guys immediately shot it down and said no because she's
Yeah.
part of the Children of the Watch.
Well, and that's the thing
Right.
too is she's.
But then
always
this
been,
episode
she's
came
been
out.
clamoring for power, and she's always been second fiddle.
True.
Always been clamoring for power. Now she's in a position where she's leading other Mandalorians like she's always wanted, and now she's got a whole bunch of them. And an easy ticket. And the thing is that her and Bo-Katan
I guess
are at
the
odds, and they were in Rebels too.
I guess the horns are. I mean, they just don't.
They're not the ones that they had.
Because the Mandalorians that were under Maul, the horns literally looked
They were
exactly like Maul's horns.
They like went around his head instead of like on top. They were like all the way around and up.
Yeah.
on the
Are you sure?
armor.
Because I feel like I've seen different I feel like I've seen different spiked helmets where they didn't all necessarily look the same. So I feel like I've seen some close to like Moff Gideon's too, how his was, and how that's how some of the Mandalorian's helmets would look too.
I've seen a lot of different styles.
His aren't like that.
No, and I've seen a lot of different styles of Mandalorian helmet, but it's really a matter of you can make them however you want to, you know. So it's like it's hard for me to say what the real like canon recognized helmets are outside of the obvious. You know what I mean? It's like we've seen Maul's people wear the ones with like the crown of horns, honestly, and then we've seen like more of like a almost like stormtrooper type, like on Paz Vizsla. He wears like he doesn't wear it. It's more forward.
Yeah.
And then we've seen obviously the Mando helmet. We've seen Bo-Katan's and all that, and even the ones that were the survivors on the planet. You know, they all wear very similar. But then there's some of them just off the wall, different. And they don't explain them all.
Well, so when they get down to the planet, they discover like these rando Mandalorians out of nowhere that are just on this big ass ship boat thing, and they're apparently committed to Bo-Katan, which
Lady Kreese.
They're like it's the voice of Lady Kreese, and she's like, that's me, and. They like jetpack up and hail, and
are they the spies?
I personally think that they're the spies.
Yeah, they could have.
Because like they were just there on a boat.
My money was
the
on
only thing about
them or
the only
Wolf
thing.
Boy.
Yeah,
he's the only one from their current squad that I can think of.
Yeah,
the armor too, but the armor almost just seems obvious
because he
in the
just
way
looks
they
like
shot
a dick.
it.
He just looks like a dick.
Axe Wolves.
Yes.
Yeah, Axe Wolves. That's it. Yep.
Loved when he tries to fight Boss.
Yeah, this gets worked.
That was sick.
I literally during that fight I was like, "You led your troop?
Yeah.
Like Paz you beat everybody in your troop?" And
Paz caught him with a right while he was jumping and sailing with his jetpack. Just hits the ground like that was sweet.
That fight was sick.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the one thing though about them is that if they really were the spies, I don't think they would have led them. Well, maybe they just wouldn't have known, though. Like, just led them directly into getting attacked by a big-ass creature, but then again, they probably just didn't realize that it was even there to wake up.
Were they
that's
in the back?
Probably what it was, but I was
back?
because did they ever actually confirm that they found the forge? I actually can't remember.
No, they knew exactly where it was at.
Well, they said they knew where it was at, but it also led into that monster.
Hey, were they standing
well, no, because then they go in the cave and they start going down. So I guess,
they go in the cave and they start going down, so I don't really know if they are the spies.
Were they standing in the back when the blast door shut? That's how you know.
Actually, were they even seen? I don't know. Were they even seen in that battle at all?
I think they were standing in the back when the blast door shut.
Funny, huh?
Yeah. Okay, then they're probably the spies.
Yeah, we'll lead you to the wrong spot.
I mean, it's possible that the armor really is Rook, and at the end of the day, like, Rook still would have been, like, Mandalorians first.
Right.
So it would make sense that...
Yeah, she wouldn't sell out the Mandalorians to the Empire for damn sure.
Right.
Yeah, she was Mandalorian only.
Right. She already went through the experience of an outsider leading them with Maul.
So then, once again, if she was Rook, then why would she be the spy?
Right, and that's the thing. A lot of people think that she is, but I think that she's a spy for somebody else. I don't think she's a spy for the Empire.
I'll say somebody I think broke it down that it was like the only way it would make sense that if she was the spy was to be basically like to protect like it would almost be like a callback to Bo's conversation about why she surrendered to Moff Gideon in the first place.
Right.
To save it would be like if she potentially could have made a deal like, okay, if you give me the rest of the Mandalorians, your clan will be safe.
Well, right.
The Children of the Watch will be okay.
Because you can see her
But I still don't think, like, with Bo's story, like, you would have to know that he's full of shit and he's not going to fucking, like, honor that anyway. So it's just like, I don't think it's her. If it is, they're going to have a lot of explaining to do.
She really looks worried when she was starting to win everybody over with her story about how she lost it and why she lost it and why she gave it up. And she started winning everybody over. You could see her demeanor completely change.
Yeah.
She doesn't want her to win everybody over. Even though she says she does, she doesn't truly think that she was going to.
And the reason I think, really, she's probably just, she might be the spy, but just not Rook, but she might be a spy because of, and someone pointed this out, and it makes sense, when Mando goes back to where Grief Karga is. The very first time, all the way back in the first season. When he goes back and he goes underground to where they were hiding, all the armor there is just piled up. And, like, I think you're led to believe they kind of got killed by the Empire. Well, why is she the only one left?
Correct.
And then also, why is she just still there? Why didn't she get off that planet? So people are theorizing, like, she might be the spy for him.
And like you say, you just said it earlier, she was the one that dipped out and brought the injured people back to the party. Just so happened that she was the one that missed all of the Empire's crap.
True, too.
I'll say I didn't know how to take that moment because they also focused on it so much that I felt like it was kind of obvious. That I almost, in a way, was like, well, are they trying to... Which is also weird, because they kind of already established that Moff Gideon had a base on Mandalore because of the meeting earlier with the Shadow Council. So it was like, I don't know if they were trying to, like, with her flying up into space to bring the injured people, if they were like, oh, this is when Moff's crew is going to show up and then attack, but it was going to be like a fake out, or like, oh, no, they're actually trapping the Mandalorians in a base here. I don't know what it was really odd. They put a lot of time onto her, like when she was flying out, because they even did it coming in too. And I was like, because when it first happened again, I was like, oh wow, they really love this rain effect of going in and out of this planet, which granted looks badass, but it was just like even more heavy of her leaving the planet. And I was just like, why are they focusing so much on her?
For one of two reasons. It's either what we're thinking, what we're talking about now, or this is her setting up for her big moment where she goes down and saves her people. That could be a thing too. The person that's captured. Well, right, but we also don't know where the rest of them went either. We don't know what condition they're in.
That's true.
Because they bounced out, they cut that hole and bounced. Well, who knows?
Also, this writing, like, it happens in so many shows and movies, but they have fucking Mando.
Yeah.
They have him.
Yep.
Moff's like, bring him in for question. Why?
Just cut his head off.
Take his helmet off and cut his head off. Just kill him.
Yeah. That's what I thought they were going to. I was sitting there just looking.
For a second, I was like, people are really pissed off. This isn't in show anymore.
I thought they were gonna just kill him right there. I was
maybe.
like, oh man,
for a split
this
second.
really is Katie Sackhoff.
I was like, this isn't Ben's show anymore. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
No.
Yeah,
but
I don't have a problem with that.
We also didn't even touch on
Katie Sackhoff was seen
IG-12, dude.
I'd say there's another thing we haven't done. No.
IG-12.
No.
That was amazing.
No.
He's got the fruit in his hand. No. Dude, I thought that was hilarious.
He's just, this isn't working for me.
Yeah.
I was dying.
It's so good. I like when he's like, you have to keep up when they're running through the cave, and he's just in the back, like, just getting busy. I'm like, it's so funny, dude. Yeah, I forgot all about that. That's one thing I wanted to bring up, but...
that was great. I love how they actually kind of give him, in a weird way, he can talk now, but he doesn't actually have a voice yet for people to shit on and be like, oh, you ruined Grogu.
Yeah, exactly. And he can move around with everybody.
Okay, the one thing that I didn't like, too, is that, like, he was in there, like, with all of them when they were trapped, and, like, he's watching his pseudo-father, like, getting his ass whooped. I was half expecting, like, and he's like gonna choke all of them or something and like throw them and shit. Sweet. I was like kind of fully expecting like, oh, I think Grogu's about to like unleash force here,
or just force pull,
or like he was gonna like force push the shit out of the door and like blow it off so then they could save Din. And I was like,
he's horrified of Gideon though.
Huh?
He's horrified of Gideon.
That's true.
He's been hunting him and torturing him for how long?
Yeah.
So he's just horrified of Gideon. So he literally, his ears went down when he showed up. He's horrified of him. So it's like maybe that's the thing for him too. Maybe he'll get that chance to really show what he's learned so far. That's, if I know Star Wars, that's probably what they'll do. Is they'll have him involved and he'll like do some flips and he'll use the Force in some way, shape, or form to save
grab
him.
the Darksaber from Bo, and it's just going to look like Yoda and attack
and
start flipping around.
Yeah. Or if he wields it, it's smaller.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
That'd be hilarious. I mean,
what if he used it like a, what do they call him, like pult vault. Like
because honestly, because
because
Clone Wars made it canon to where they can actually dial their sabers
Facts.
for the length of the blade.
Facts.
Yeah.
Because Keller and Beck used his two really short ones because he dual wields.
Yeah.
So that makes sense because you said the other week that the other short one with Grandmaster Luke, and
Yeah.
but you said it was his father's, and I was like,
Yeah.
but how?
Well, and
So now that makes sense.
and
Now
a-
how
and a-
his dad's was shorter now.
And if
can
you
actually
know,
tune it.
I don't know if you've noticed, but Ahsoka's are that too.
Yeah.
I say hers don't seem. Yeah, they don't seem
one
like.
is shorter.
Yeah.
One is shorter than the other. I just thought they both were kind
Even
of short.
the
No.
hilt's smaller on one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
She has a full lightsaber for her main hand, and then her offhand is a shorter one. That's just a little smaller.
Oh, so I always just thought I didn't think they were
Short
both
sword.
like short, but they both just, from what I've seen, they just both seem shorter than normal.
I think they are. I think because the thing is, I think when, depending upon your fighting style, like,
Yeah, because
Vader's has to be super long.
I was gonna
He's
say,
front
yeah,
facing.
because like some of the Jedi, like, and it's more. This is more of a thing that you unless you're looking for this, you won't notice. But yeah, some of the Jedi and like Vader had a super long one because they're like two-handing it with their fighting style.
Yeah,
Which would make
lumbering.
So
sense.
they're just like
Makes sense.
lumbering with a two-hander.
Yeah, you ever
William Wallace.
Yeah, no shit.
Just-
If you ever want to go down a rabbit hole, look up all the fighting forms for lightsaber combat and who uses each one. It's amazing. It's the coolest rabbit hole you'll ever go into.
Right.
You actually learn like why a lot of them do what they do, and they reflect the fighting styles in the movies. It's pretty sweet. And there's like form 7. It's like I think there's like 7 or 8 forms. Or
So I've
something
heard
like
that there's different forms, and there's even like some that are like you said.
So the one
What was it Obi-Wan used on Anakin when he like jumped
He
over?
was
Or that
using
was at least like a dark side like
He was
cut.
using some more dark side
Anytime-
form there.
It was designed to dismember multiple limbs. That move that he did,
Yeah.
the down slash, arm and legs.
It's the form that it might be the same form or just close, but like the form that Mace Windu uses is like that's why they say like, oh, if you use that one, like you're gonna be a dark side user because it's one that's designed to kill.
And that's why he has purple, right?
Yeah.
Well, in canon, that's why he has
No,
purple.
he has
Partial.
purple because Samuel L. Jackson.
I know that's why he has purple, but in canon he has purple because
Well,
it's blue and red mixed together
yes.
makes purple, and he's a
Yes.
mixture between the light and the dark
Yes.
because he has some dark side tendencies.
He went to the dark
Yeah,
side.
something like
That's the
that.
canon
In the
reason.
in
But
the
yes, in
comics, he
real
went
in
to the
real
dark
life,
side for
yes,
a while.
Samuel L. Jackson wanted a purple lightsaber, and that's why he got a
It says
purple
bad
lightsaber.
motherfucker on the bottom.
No, it doesn't.
I think it does.
That's awesome. if
That's
it does.
incredible.
I don't
want
know.
I want a replica on the wall right there.
Bad motherfucker.
But where were we here? Looks like so obviously we got our death troopers coming in by the waves and the waves and the waves, and then they cut the hole in the back wall. They all dip through it except for Big Dog. And this
Big Daddy.
was
Bizzler.
a awesome, sad moment because
He
I
just-
wanted so
I
much.
just love
more.
how I even love how it like kind of
Yeah,
went a
hold
little
on,
first
man.
person, and you just see the gun, and he's like
Let me finish my drink.
trailing the bullets to get them, and I was like, that is so actually accurate to a real machine gun. This is awesome. And she's like, come on, and he just looks. He's like, this is the way, and he just punches that pad, and I was like, oh God, no! I was just starting to really like you.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then he obviously shows his loyalty to Mandalore. As a whole.
I
not
like
just
how
one.
dude, and I love too how like they even got even way more realistic too. Like the gun got
Dude, yes.
beat red and overheated, and he's like throws
Dude,
it.
yeah,
I
that was the
like,
best
oh
part.
my God! I was like, this is genius.
When it looks like he's gonna like throw it away, he's like, nah, fuck, I just.
just nails
It was just that was so genius, and then like they're just trying to blast him, and it's Beskar can't get through, and he's just tackling them and
Knocking them off the
shoves
platform.
the two off the platform.
Amazing.
And then,
This is just one of them awesome character moments because, like, we have all grown to love this Vizsla. He is very true to his character. He's all about honor, the Mandalorian way.
I love
And he just goes out in a perfect way. Just goes out
Right.
as he should.
the Praetorian
the-
Guard.
It broke my
Praetorian-
heart, but I was like, God damn, you did him good, though.
Those Praetorian Guard come out, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I said, oh, this is it.
I love it too. Yeah, I just love too how he turns to them and he gets the shield on, and I was like, oh God,
Yep.
Dude, he
was-
stabbed one in the neck and they didn't even move.
Well, that was the thing.
Yeah,
And he just literally walks away. I'm
Yeah.
like, holy shit.
Yeah.
What creatures are these?
Because that was the thing is like when it obviously starts, you already think he's going to die just the way it happens. But
Yeah.
then when he beats all the troopers, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
But then
Just
as soon as
gut
the
him.
Praetorian guards come out, you're like, ah.
And they're just pushing it deeper, and they're just staring at him. I'm like, that is frightening.
Right.
like that is a. Oh, dude, that was cool. Like when he ordered his
Hey.
backups or whatever, his reinforcements,
Dude,
he was
it's-
like,
it's
he's like
fine. And-
Praetorian Guards. He's like, what are you trying to stage an assassination? Like, I was
Right,
like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The same ones that Kylo and Rey.
I was gonna say it's fine. Those assholes get their just desserts in 20 years. Like I mean,
yeah,
it's-
Kylo or Rilo. Rilo messes him up.
That's the only thing from that fucking movie that I'm like, okay, cool, fine. Like that
was pretty cool.
That scene, that whole execution of that throne room scene where they fuck all them up. No?
It's the same scene that Snoke gets killed off too, right?
Yeah.
Well,
With the Force right next to him, just doesn't sense a light.
ignore that part.
Oh, if we're talking about immediately after, that fight scene was.
Yeah, we're talking
But
about
right before that
Dude,
fight scene,
look.
the Praetorian Guards, yeah.
Snoke wasn't perfect, okay? He didn't have that much foresight. He just could sense he could just sense the feeling of murder. He didn't know he was really gonna murder. He was just being an arrogant asshole.
I just killed Jeff.
Oh, that was hilarious. It was so high pitched. It was so high pitched.
I walk by Haley in the house all the time and just go.
That is fucking
Oh
funny.
my god, that was amazing.
It's my one skill that I can do.
That's amazing.
But yeah, it's the whole like this Praetorian Guard, he's like, are you trying to make an assassination attempt? And all it did, like for a minute I'm like, why does that sound familiar? And then at the end when they came out in the red, I was like, oh yeah, those motherfuckers.
Dude, I used to be obsessed with the I used to have like tons of those figures of like the Praetorian Guards.
the old school ones.
Love them. Dude, when I was a kid, I built.
I was gonna say they're in return, but they don't do anything.
He just tells them.
They just look really dope.
He tells them to go away. Literally, he's like, leave us, and that's the only time you see him. It's like, but I had,
But you damn straight they had an action figure and they were dope.
bro, I had like every variation, and then I built a Lego throne room, and I had them in it, like where they would be otherwise. Like I loved them. I thought they were the coolest thing when I was a kid.
That's the thing. They were so cool.
And the thing is,
Character design wise, like they were really cool.
yeah, all red sheen, and that's what's so cool about it is that's the same exact.
They literally
get-up
just like
as Palpatine in Project Cinder.
even if
Operation
you
Cinder.
know like a little bit about Star Wars, like you know what the stormtroopers are, Jedi, the basic stuff. You see them, you're like, oh, they look like some royal guards.
Yeah.
Like they protect somebody real important.
And the fact is, you don't even. Back in the day, like we were saying, you don't even get to see what they fight like. So now you're getting to see how legit they actually were. So in that instance, it makes you think. When he sent away the Praetorian Guards in Return of the Jedi, if he wanted to kill Luke, he could have just done it. Like, if he wanted to kill Luke, he could have just said, Vader, and you two, kill him. And he would have been done. Done. There ain't nobody. But no, that's pretty much the end of the episode. And next week we find out if Mandalorians are indeed stronger together. We'll see.
We will see. And we'll see if the Mandalorian is going to be Din Djarin or if the Mandalorian's now going to be Bo-Katan.
Oh, also confirmed the little youngling birds.
Oh, yeah.
Guess we know their fate.
Yeah, I guess.
I thought that was. Did you miss that?
Probably.
They're like coming in on camp like at nighttime or something. You just see these like big birds that are getting like roasted in the fire. Look exactly like the baby birds that they took from the nest the other day.
Foundlings.
Christ.
Yeah, roasting the foundlings.
Hey, we got more Mandos. We got feed. We ain't got enough food.
Hell yeah.
Do you really think they'd kill him off?
Who?
Depends.
No.
Is Pedro going to get paid enough money to come back and not show his face, or will he actually finally get to show his face?
I think
because
he'll
if
get
both
to
of
show
those
his
answers
face.
are not enough and no, yes, he's dead.
well, no shit.
This is Bo-Katan's story.
Well, that's the thing
he
about
serves
it.
her now.
That was the whole thing about
That
it.
is
Was
true.
like he like literally
Which
said,
was a really cool moment.
Oh, exactly.
yeah. He was like, he tells her, he's like, it's about honor. He's like, it's not about your title or
The blade.
the blade of this bullshit that the whole society is always bought into. He's like, it's about honor and you're honorable. And he's like, I'll serve you until I die. And he's like, your story has still not been fully written or something.
Yeah, and I will serve you until it is.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Really cool.
That's where I am afraid that he might just get killed off in this finale, and then the show going forward is going to be her show.
I don't know, man. I think
Especially with this season.
the thing is, there's so much going on still that's undone with him. Like if they'd have wrapped a few things up with like Navarro and stuff, sure. But there's a lot of things that are still going on. I think that he's going to have a place. I don't know if it's going to be. I think it's going to be more so a Mandalorian than the Mandalorian for him. But that's what he wants. He gave up the Darksaber. He don't want it. He doesn't want to lead. He just wants to be a Mandalorian, not the Mandalorian. So
Yeah.
he's getting what he's asked for. He wanted to serve Bo-Katan. He went and did it. And her way, you take your helmet off.
I know a lot of people are like really upset at this season because it doesn't feel like Din Djarin's story anymore.
That's okay.
I'm about to say, I know you guys are okay with it. You guys have watched Rebels. Even me, for somebody
Hey,
who hasn't watched it, but you guys have filled me up enough, I'm still all about this. Hey, I'm cool with it being Bo or
Dude.
Grogu's story, either
Hey,
one.
dude.
Like,
Bo-Katan has been
she,
a beautifully written character.
Yeah.
Beautifully written.
Amazing, great character. The actress was like on some show, and they were like doing tweet readings. One was hardcore fans of Bo-Katan are now dubbed Bo-Kastans, and I was like, I'll take that title.
Bo-Kastans.
Bo-Kastans.
Oh, that's
I was like,
incredible.
I'll take that. Yeah, that's what I am.
You know what?
Like,
I missed that for my handle. Bo-Katan.
but no, beautifully, absolutely.
Bo-Kastans.
Bo-Katan.
Absolutely beautiful written character. Starts out, you get introduced to her that she's a fucking terrorist fanatic with Death Watch that thinks that her sister, who's in rule of the planet, they're wrong. It's not how they should be. They should be a military might. And then, like, basically, they trust Maul. And then Maul kills her sister. Spoilers. But that came out like...
We've given you enough time.
But
It's been
all that came out like more than 10 years ago, so yeah, you've been given enough time to watch it. But yeah, so like she learns that Maul wasn't the answer, and then and that's where... So those events are where she learned that when Mandalorians are divided, their societies just crumbles.
Mm-hmm.
And they made reference to that with all of
that's
our
the
warring
thing.
factions.
That's
and
the
stuff
thing. It's
that.
like when she's making her speech to them and saying how we need to be together, because she's like, I've seen what she's like when Mandalorians infight, like it just ruins us. Like that's what she's referring to.
I do wonder if that whole conversation, maybe for some people who have tuned out this season and are kind of lost, wonder if that conversation might have done a little bit more good in the beginning of the season for a lot of people.
Probably would have.
Makes more like it makes sense why it would pop up when it.
Because
did.
I mean, and the thing is too is like she doesn't just experience it once. So she goes through it with Maul, and then the Empire wins, and then they basically the fighting continues because again, like Gar Saxon gets a lot of the clans to follow under the Empire, and that's when like Sabine gets. Oh God, the dude's name. Yeah, the when they're on the outskirts. It's the Mandalorians that flood Mandalore. It's not the Watch, but
I can't remember.
Gar Saxon.
No, it's they even rumored that he might come back and play the voice actor would come back and play the live action character.
It would make sense now.
Right.
Definitely. Especially with the armor the way it is.
Right. So like that's the thing is like she's been through it twice because then when they get rid of Gar Saxon, that's when Sabine Wren. Yes, Sabine Wren. Sorry.
Yeah. There's so many names.
No, it's why did he made them the same name, just one different constant.
Oh, Sabine and
Satine and Sabine.
Satine and Sabine.
Yes. Anyways, that's when she hands Bo the Darksaber, and then that's when Bo like rules all the clans, and then they're gonna fight the Empire. Then the whole purge thing happens. Blah 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 blah. But that's what she's referring to. Is like they were still like they were infighting forever.
That's why we always joke about the Civil Wars. Mm-hmm. It's real.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense.
And they even joke about it now. It's like, it's like, oh,
like
there
that's
they
the
go
thing.
again.
That's the thing is like they have these civil wars that like Boba says to Din, when he shows him the chain codes and the armor, he's like, "This is my dad." He's like Jango Fett. He's like served in the Mandalorian civil wars and all that shit. Like he's like, "I am a Mandalorian by blood or whatever." Even though Bo will never see him as one. Which is weird, but whatever.
Well, and he's pretty much removed himself from the culture. Like when Din was talking about his
he just
way,
likes
he's like,
having
"You actually believe that?" He's like, yeah, and he goes, "Good." He didn't. So
yeah.
Kind of alluded they're like
in the show at the end, like, he's just like, Mandalorians are stronger together. He's like, "You actually believe that?" He's just like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Good."
Well, he said he's like, "We'll fight and die together," and he's like, "We'll die on the field of battle and stuff." And he goes, "You actually believe that?" And he goes, "I do." He goes, "Okay, good," because I don't.
Right? Yeah. Bubba was like, "Yeah, I don't."
Yeah. Yeah. So he doesn't walk the way, obviously. But,
No.
But next week we get to find out who's still walking the way.
This is going to be very interesting. Great penultimate episodes that just left open all these questions.
Yeah.
They did a damn good job with this episode, because especially at the end of episode 6, it was kind of like, we all kind of knew Gideon was the overarching threat, but it still just didn't feel
looming.
it quite. He was just still looming. It was like, okay, what's the threat? Where's this going to come in? I think they did a lot of good things this episode to kind of get us real hyped for this finale here.
I still
hopefully
don't.
it gets us hyped for season 4, which they've apparently already got mapped out and everything. So.
And Ahsoka,
obviously.
Oh,
which this next episode could very, very much lead into Ahsoka.
That's what I think.
But it also could not. He also
Right.
could not show up, which
That's
I think we should be prepared for.
Dude, when the Shadow Council, when they kept panning out, and there was like everybody around the room, and the front of the room was empty. I was sitting there, I was like staring at it, and they kept like changing the focus to go like background and foreground, and I was like, do it. I just want to see like the blue hologram and just the back of his head and that voice come in. I'd have been like, I'm done. I'm done. Too much overload.
I'd say they've kind of set it up where Gideon seems like he's getting a little too big-headed,
ambitious.
Yeah, ambitious. We'll say,
and I think they're setting
up
Thrawn to
would be kind of cool to
squash.
see Thrawn come in and humble him. But I almost wonder if Thrawn will be safe for Ahsoka and the movie.
Well, yeah, I think so. I think they wouldn't be wrong to do that, but I think that they'd be remiss if they didn't like at least introduce him.
So it would be nice if they at least do finally tease him and do show him at least.
Yeah, or even
if he doesn't do anything like
super
impactful, it would be kind of nice to lead into the Ahsoka series, because they already was it in Boba's or was it last season of Mandalore where Ahsoka appeared up and she kind of already she asked
Mando,
like, where is
season 2.
Thrawn, or Grand Admiral
where is
Thrawn?
Grand Admiral Thrawn to Elsbeth?
So they've kind of already teased him, so it would kind of make sense if they teased him last season. It makes sense if he actually did, even if it's for 2 seconds, show up to kind of lead into Ahsoka. I hope so. I'm ready to meet this man. Haven't watched the Rebels. So
well, dude, I mean, on the way back from vacation,
this man.
I was listening to Greater Good on the way back, and let's just put it this way. I put it on at like 6 in the morning when I start, or 3 in the morning when I started driving. I switched around like, 7 or 8 o'clock. He took over. I fell asleep for a little while. Woke up. It was still playing.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I was just too lazy to change it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I bet.
I mean, I was.
It's good shit, though. It's
literally
really
like could barely pay attention to what was even being said. And I was like, I have no idea what this is like. Where this is at. I was like,
well, it's. I mean, honestly,
like
every chapter is a completely different story, pretty much, because they'll switch back and forth from memories from long ago when Thrawn was young to modern day.
Yeah.
So like you'll get like chapter 17 and then chapter 18 memories, and then chapter 19, chapter 20 memories. And then like sometimes it's hard to follow. This is the only book they've really they've done it a little bit in other books, but this is the one they've done it the most in. It's a little. They're starting to not jump as far back as it was fun in the beginning, because they used to jump back to when he was a kid and like growing up and like when he was going through military testing, and that was cool because he just destroyed every test and they thought he was cheating all the time when all of his because he's a military genius, but he sucks at politics.
Yeah, I feel like I remember you mentioning that prior, that he's military genius, terrible at politics.
Dude, it's bad.
Yeah, that's not his.
And that's why he gets. That's basically why he gets exiled, because he gets pretty much screwed over, and there's nothing he can do about it because he didn't set himself up. I mean, he's doing the right thing militarily always, but somebody got him. Haven't got there yet, so I don't know.
Well, either way, I think we're all excited for next week.
What are we rating? Rating.
Oh yeah, rating. Ooh,
Dude, like a 9.5. This episode was awesome.
9-1.
9-1.
Hey, it's hard to get me at a 9 to begin with, so. I don't give out 9s very often. It means I'm mean.
9.7.
See, it's nearly a tenner for this boy.
Yep. This is one of my favorites.
Nearly a tenner.
I think I gave. I think we were talking about a long time ago. I said that the Luke Skywalker was like a 9.8, 9.9 ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was almost.
He's consistent then. He did say it was his second favorite episode. It's consistent. I guess this is up there for me too, but I don't think I've really rated much higher. Well, we didn't talk about that season rating, so I don't have a rating for the Luke episode.
Yeah,
Chumps.
that was long ago. That was long ago.
So this might be my highest rated Mando episode yet. So screw y'all. 9.1's plenty high from me.
Hey, you know what? It's like once you get that baseline, then you can work around it.
Exactly.
So
I'll say it. Let's be real here. A 9 in Mando isn't necessarily the same as like a 9 in South Park, we'll say.
Right.
Not quite the same.
Which, speaking of, I finally got caught up in
Spring Break.
the last two episodes. No, the Dick and Balls episode was hilarious because it's looking at all you out there. It's horribly accurate of society right now. There's shit of I need a mental health day, a toxic work environment. It's like, no, you just don't know how to be an adult in the world because
you've been given
everything was locked because everything was locked down for 2 years when you turned 18.
True, and they've completely restructured the country to allow for it, pretty much. At this point.
I mean,
well, let's be real. Some of that benefits the companies. Oh, we don't have to pay for office overhead?
Well, yeah, office overhead is where it saves, but it's, I don't know. Not to, shit on that, but...
Oh, I don't know how you people do it.
I don't either.
Not you people. People that work from home. My girlfriend's one of them who just recently transferred.
He's one of them.
I don't know how you do it. Well, you go in the office. Well, she does too, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys do it.
I don't know how you do it either.
I wouldn't be motivated.
Actually, that's my problem. I'm not motivated. Okay. I am very
I have
much...
to be at my office to be motivated to work. If I'm at home in my personal office... Oh, Destiny's right there.
Yeah. I could work, or I could just play Overwatch. I could work, or I could just go sit my ass on my couch all day and watch TV.
Okay, so that's the thing.
I've been wanting to binge that anime lately.
You have to get used to it.
Right, yeah.
If you don't get used to it, you're just going to be twiddling your thumbs all day. And the thing is, the job that I'm at currently, it's a production-based job. So, like, you pretty much get into a groove of when you're in here and you're... Just like here, I work right over here. And so when I'm down here, we're doing this. Obviously, it's fun and stuff, but you're in the zone. I'm over there, in the zone. That door shuts, in the zone. When I'm outside of that door, not at work. Not at work.
GG's. Throw them up.
And my breaks, I take on the couch in my living room. My lunch, I can eat it on the front porch if I want to, and take a walk.
See, that's the part that's nice. You probably get the same amount of time, too, and don't have to waste it on driving back home and then driving back to the
Bingo.
office.
So that's the thing. When I'm off work, here I am.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of benefits. Like, I just think me and KP's issue would just be like, it's hard to stay motivated.
Mine was at first. It took me a while to get used to it.
I couldn't. I really was not. I mean, even when like being forced to do it
Yeah.
during 2020, I struggled with it tremendously. I was like, man, I work so much slower.
And it's a little
Like-
bit different when you have an end date too of that. You know, like they did that for like COVID reasons. Like this is just what my job is. So
Yeah.
I either get used to it and find my ways to motivate myself.
That's
or,
kind of true, I guess.
you know, like that's really where that's why I feel about the way that I do about it. But also, I am switching jobs to get out and go do like stuff out in the field. So
See how it's flashing red.
oh,
Ooh, we're all about to run out of time. All right,
Wrap this shit up.
all right, we're gonna wrap it up before the video cuts. If you guys made it this far, thank you so much, as always, for sticking with us. We hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please give us a like, subscribe, maybe ring that bell notification so you know every time that we post a new video. Also, if you need an audio-only version, you can find us on Spotify. Until next week, when we get that juicy Mandalore season finale.
I can't wait, but I want it. But I want to wait. You know.
I'm your boy,
I got plenty of
Jay
between
Sib, and to my left, Bo Castan himself.
KP!
To my right,
Bo-Katan.
we'll see you next week on that finale. Not us, Mando. Later.
Bo-Katan.